surds, right? So what it is? See, actually, yesterday, as we discussed, surds are the another form of notation for exponents as logarithms. See, if we have an exponent, we can express that exponent in two different forms. One is the logarithmic form and the other one is the surd form. Now we are in surds. See, if you look here, if b power n is equals to a is an exponent. If b power n is equals to a is an exponent, if you send that n that side, it becomes like b is equals to a power n. And that b is equals to a power n also written as b is equals to nth root of a. Then it leads to the concept of nth roots. As an example, if you wish to discuss, if 3 power 4 is equals to 81 is the concept of exponent, and if you try to convert it into the form of nth roots, you will write that 3 is equals to 81 to the power 1 by 4. This 4 when coming to the right side becomes like power 1 by 4. So write it like 3 is equals to 4th root of 81. Is it right? So nth roots is nothing but just a conversion of exponents. Another way of expressing the concept of exponents. And now if you look, see a b power n is equals to a is the exponent, whereas b is equals to nth root of a or a power 1 by n is the concept of nth roots. Now if you replace this a is equals to b power n here, then what will happen? So if you replace a with b power n, then it becomes like b is equals to nth root of b power n. One fundamental law related to the nth roots. What it is? B is equals to nth root of b power n. Now if you look here, already we have that 81 is equals to 3 power 4. So now if you replace this 81 with the 3 power 4, then it becomes like 3 is equals to 4th root of 3 power 4. Is it right? So if this n and n are equal, then your answer is B. Like if this 4 and 4 are equal, then your answer is 3. And this is the first point of this related to the nth root. As an example, for example, if you have that something like 11th root of 7 power 11, then what is your answer? This 11 and that 11 are same. It is of the format of n and n. Then this simplification leads us to 7. Right? If there is no chance to simplify like that, then how to behave, how that value behaves and what to call that value is the concept of surds. Now I am going to deal with that. Right? This is the first thing. The first thing is about the nth root. So what is the nth root? If b power n is equals to a, then b is equals to a power 1 by n is the nth root of a. And by combining these two, we have this fundamental law. I think you are all aware about this. Right? So b is equals to nth root of b power n is b. I mentioned an example here. Then moving for the definition of surd. How it is? See, if you look, already we mentioned that nth root of a power n, right? So we have what we have? Nth root of b power n is equals to a, or nth root of b power n is equals to b, we have it as, right? Just leave it. Now I am going to discuss about the definition of surds, right? So the second point is related to the definition. So related to the definition, see, we need a natural number n. N should be a natural number and that to n not equals to 1. Right? A is a positive rational. A is a positive rational. Just observe it. N is a natural number not equals to 1 and A is a positive rational. Then if nth root of A is not a rational, then nth root of A is called a surd of order n. Just look at the definition, right? You need initially to define a surd, you need what? A natural number n and a positive rational number a. Just keep in mind that this a should be a positive rational, right? And this n is a natural number, but it is not equals to 1. If it is 1, there is nothing to discuss. Already we discussed that if b power n is equals to a, like this now. If b power n is equals to a, if this n is 1, then what will happen? B power n is a. Is it happens? No. We will write like a power 1 is equals to a. So if n is equals to 1, then there is no need to discuss separately. So to avoid that thing, you just treat that n as a natural but not equals to 1. So if n is a natural not equals to 1 and a is a positive rational number, and you need to check about nth root of a. If that nth root of a is not a rational, see, nth root of a is not a rational, then that nth root a is called a surd of order n. If suppose that nth root a is a rational, then it is not a surd. Right? Already we discussed about it that, for example, if you have that cube root of 8. See, if you think about this cube root of 8, what is the value of cube root of 8? Cube root of 8, we will express it like 2, right? So, think once. This n, the position of n is 3, natural not equals to 1. A is a positive rational number and its value cube root of 8 is again a rational number. So, it is not a surd. Now, if you think about cube root of 7, this n, natural not equals to 1. This a, 7, a positive rational number, and cube root of 7 is not a rational number. We don't have any specific value for that cube root 7, right? See, since this cube root 7 is not a rational, this cube root 7 is called a surd. So this is an example for a surd. So to decide whether a thing is a surd or not, it should be in the form of nth root of a, where that n is a natural number not equals to 1 and that a is a positive rational number, right? See, already we have a way to simplify. In that way we will do simplification as we discussed in the first point, and after simplification, if the result is not a rational number, then we call that nth root as a surd. If the result is a rational number, then we won't call it as a surd, right? See, this a should be what? A positive rational number. Keep in mind that, right? So by this definition, now what I am going to do is, I am going to check whether the following numbers are surds or not. That's why I mentioned here, right? So I am going to check whether these things are surds or not, right? Just have a look. You just try in our own way whether they are surds or not, and I will decide. I will tell you about these things which are surds and which are not surds within fraction of seconds. Just have a look. Try to decide in your own way whether they are surds or not, right? Look here. So, with the help of this definition, what I am going to do is, I am going to decide whether these are surds or not. First thing is, the simplification can't be a rational number. And the next thing is, a should be a positive rational number. See, think about that. See, first of all, you need to get an idea about the rational and not a rational, right? A is a rational for a surd. So, what is a rational and what is not a rational? A rational number is usually of the format p by q form, right? As well as rational numbers are terminating decimals or repeating decimals. Rational numbers are terminating or repeating decimals. Whereas not a rational means we call it as irrational number. Okay, which type of numbers are irrationals? Already we know that neither terminating nor repeating, neither terminating nor repeating decimals are known as the irrational numbers, just we discussed in the last class, right? See, think about once again. Rational numbers are in p by q form, terminating and repeating decimals. Not rational numbers are irrational numbers which are neither terminating nor repeating decimals. First of all, to decide whether it is a surd or not, nth root of a, you just concentrate on this a, right? So, wherever that a is not a rational, okay, and whose simplification is not a rational, like that we need to decide. I am erasing this and I am going to check one by one whether they are surds or not. Come with me. See, root 7 I mentioned there. See, we know that root 7 is nothing but square root of 2, right? Root 7 I gave you here, which is nothing but square root of 2. That means this n is 2 not equals to 1 and this 7 is a, which is a rational number. So, this is of the format nth root of a. So, a is a rational and n is a natural number, and we don't have any simplification for this. We know that square root of 4 is 4, square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 16 is 4, like that. But square root of 7 we don't have any specific value related to this. So, it is a surd. Is that right? And whereas coming for this cube root of 64, See, you just think it, cube root of 64. N is 3, which is natural, not equals to 1. And A is 64, clearly rational number. A is rational, N is natural. Two conditions are satisfied. But the third condition means the result can't be a rational. But if you check, the result is this is cube root of 4 cube, and cube root of 4 cube can be written as 4. Since cube root of 64 can be written as 4, this is not a surd. Is it right? Now, when coming for this fourth root of 22 by 7, you just keep in mind that this 22 by 7 is a fraction. Since it is in p by q form, it is a rational number, right? So, fourth root of 7, rational number, and this n is a natural number, and fourth root of 22 by 7, we don't have any specific value, so it is a surd. Right? When that's coming for the fifth root of pi. Pi is natural, no problem there. And then what is pi? Fifth root of pi I mentioned here. What is pi? See, pi is an irrational number. So usually to solve the problems, we will consider the value of pi as 3.14 or 22 by 7. But 22 by 7 and 3.14 are not the exact values of pi. Right? See, pi has an infinite number of decimals after the decimal point. It is neither a terminating nor repeating decimal. So, thus pi is considered as an irrational number. Since pi is not a rational number, but it is given under the fifth root, this is not a surd. I think this is clear. To decide whether a number is a surd or not, we need to check three conditions. Nth root of a, right? We need to check three conditions. The first condition is that n should be a natural number. The second condition is a should be a positive rational number. And the third condition is this simplification of nth root a is not a rational number. If it is rational number, it is not a surd. If the simplification, the result is not a rational number, then only we call it as a surd. So you need to check three conditions, but this fifth root of pi fails at the second situation because a is pi, which is an irrational number, so this fifth root of pi is not a surd. Then coming for that, sixth root of 0.718, and that n is natural, whereas the a under the root it is given as 0.7182, clearly a rational number because it is a terminating decimal. So fifth root of that value is a surd because we don't have any specific result for that. Whereas coming for this seventh root of, see what it is given, seventh root of 0.343434 like that. This is a repeating decimal. Repeating decimal is a rational number. So seventh root of a rational number, the result is not a rational, so it is also a surd. Whereas coming for this eighth root of, just you look there, I mentioned a neither repeating nor terminating decimal as 17.4213 something something something. So that means the value under this eighth root is not a rational number, so it is not a surd. Whereas coming for the cube root of square root of 11, just you think. See, if you say directly this is not a surd, but on further simplification it is a surd. So I am explaining here. I have this as cube root of square root of 11. If you compare it with this our nth root of a, that n is 3, okay, but a is root 11. Root 11 is not rational, but to check a should be rational. So with the basic definition, this cube root of root 11 is not a surd. But on simplification, further we are going to learn, I think already you know in the nth root concepts also. This cube root of square root of 11 can be written as sixth root of 11. This is power 1 by 3, this is power 1 by 2, this can be written as sixth root of 11. I hope you know it, and then further I am going to discuss it also. So since if you write it like sixth root of 11, then it becomes like a surd. So before going to decide a surd, you need to check three conditions, and related to those three conditions, if there is any simplification regarding that, just go with the simplification also, right? So this cube root of square root of 11, if you directly check, it fails, but on simplification it becomes like sixth root of 11, then it is a surd. And I gave you one more example here, 7 power root 2. What is 7 power root 2? See, nth root of a, since we are talking about nth root of a, it can be written as a power 1 by n. That a should be positive rational, and that power 1 by n is something like 1 by natural number. Here 7 power 1 by 2. The 7 is the rational, positive rational, but that power is not in the form of 1 by n. So again, it is not a surd. right? So now I took a chance in this second point to define a cert and to decide which of the given things are certs or not. See, just have a look. If you have any doubts, just raise your hands. I am going to clarify your doubts and then I move for the next one, right? Just have a look here. See, if you look, something like if you say nth root of a, right, with certain specifications, n is natural not equals to 1, a is positive rational number, and nth root of a also not belongs to rational. That means we can't simplify it to rational, then we call it as a cert, as is mentioned, right? These certs are also mentioned as radicals. Okay, you just remember the word. Certs and radicals both are same, right? Root 7 is a cert as well as we call it as a radical also, right? Right. Nth root of a is a cert. We also call these as radicals. And after mentioning these as radicals, this a is mentioned as radicand. This a is mentioned as radicand. Whereas this nth root of a, right? The sign this nth root of a is mentioned as radical sign, and this n is mentioned as order of the cert. You just think that order of the cert or order of the radical, order of the cert or order of the radical, and this nth root of thing is a radical sign, and this a is a radicand, and this nth root a is a cert or radicals, right? For suppose if you go for an example, cube root of 17. Cube root of 17 is a cert or a radical. 17 is the radicand. Cube root of thing, this cube root of is the radical sign, whereas this 3 is a cert of order 3. So if you say root 19, this is a cert of order 2 since we have 2 here. Okay, this is since we have 3 here, this is a cert of order 3. And for suppose if you have 4th root of 2020, this is a cert of order 4. Right? So this is some terminology related to certs, right? And the next thing what I am going to tell you is just have a screenshot for this and then I move for the next one, right? The next thing related to this is you need to get a difference between a cert and an irrational number. What are certs and what are irrational numbers? That's what you need to get an idea. Just look, I am going to erase this. Yeah. See, if anybody there are with unmute position, just you go to mute there. Now I am going to discuss about certs versus irrationals. See, what are irrationals and what are certs? That's what I am going to discuss. Irrational numbers are basically neither, already I told you, neither terminating nor repeating decimals. Neither terminating nor repeating decimals are mentioned as irrational numbers, whereas certs are of the format nth root of a if they are not rational numbers. If the simplification is not a rational, then we call it as a cert, and whereas irrational numbers are neither terminating and nor repeating decimals. If you go for an examples there, see what are irrational numbers. I am going to give here, just have a look. Something like 7.312157 something something something. I don't know which comes after this 8. This is not terminating. This is not repeating. Since this is neither terminating nor repeating decimal, it is irrational number. But this is not in this form of nth root of a, so this is not a cert. Right? Whereas if you think about cube root of 7, for suppose I am taking it as cube root of 7, take any number like this, cube root of 7. See, there is no simplified value for this cube root of 7 in rational numbers. So it is of the format nth root of a. So this nth root of a is a cert. This cube root of 7 is a cert, as well as this cube root of 7 is rational number also. Because cube root of 7 can be simplified. we don't have that simplified value. If you try to find the value of cube root of 7, it results again as a neither terminating nor repeating decimal. From this it is very clear that every surd is a rational number, but every irrational number need not be a surd. Just note that point, right? Every surd is a rational. Every surd of this format, cube root 7, root 19, 4th root 15, all these things are irrational numbers. But irrational numbers are in this form also, but these are not surds. So what I am going to conclude, every surd is irrational, but every irrational need not be a surd. Note that point, right? So they may ask you which of the following are surds, which of the following are irrationals. To answer those type of questions, you need to have an idea related to surd and then irrational numbers. So this is the thing related to surds and irrational numbers. You just take this point as the third point of surds, and then I move for the fourth one. Just again take a screenshot or then take a running notes, right? Can I move for the fourth one? See, you are using the sign of raising your hand, right? Like that. Meanwhile, you just use the symbol like thumb sign also, if it is everything okay. Then coming for the fourth point, what I am going to tell you is, there are different forms of surds. Now I am going to tell you is pure surd, or entire surd. Pure surd or entire surd. In some other format we call it as simplification. See, simplified value of surd. Simplified value of surd, or sometimes we call it as mixed surd. See, just have a look. Pure surd or entire surd, mixed surd or simplified value of surd, and we need a transformation from those type to this type and that type to these types, right? For example, if I have a number like square root of 8, see, square root of 8 is a surd clearly. So nothing is there as a coefficient for this root 8, so we call it as a pure surd or entire surd. And if you try to simplify the square root of 8, we can write it like square root of 4 into 2. Is it right? And I think you know that square root 4 can be written as 2. Since square root of 4 is 2, we will write it like 2 root 2. Okay? That 2 root 2 is not entire surd. Now entire surd, pure surd, if it is purely in the form of nth root of a, we call it as a pure surd or entire surd, or sometimes we call it as simple surd also. Okay? If it is in the format of nth root of a purely. Since this root 8 is in that format, nth root of a, n is 2, a is 8. But on simplification, this is 2 root 2, but it is not pure surd. It is not an entire surd because we have some irrational part also. So we call it as simplified value for this pure surd, or we call it as mixed surd. So like that we are going to take some more examples. For example, cube root of 54. How can you simplify? Cube root of 54. If you try to simplify the cube root of 54, we will write it like a cube root of, again something like 27 into 2. 27 2. And I think you know that 27 is 3 cube. So cube root of 27 is 3. 3 into cube root of 2. Okay, just for easy simplification I am taking these numbers, right? So this root 8 cube root of 54 are mentioned as entire surds or pure surds or simple surds. On simplification we convert these numbers as 2 root 2, 3 into cube root 2, like that. So we call these numbers as simplified value of the surds or mixed surds. And for suppose if you have that 4th root of 7, do you have any further simplification for this 4th root 7? No. Since 7 is a prime, there is no a clear prime factorization for that 7. So we don't have any further simplification. So you just write this 4th root 7 in that format itself. So the simplified value for that 4th root 7 is 4th root 7 itself. So this 4th root 7 is pure surd, entire surd, and then simple surd, as well as its simplest form also 4th root 7 itself. So you just try to simplify if there is a possibility. If there is no such a possibility, you just take that as the simplified value. Just have a look what I mentioned you about that conversion from pure surd to simplified value of the surd. For example, sometimes they may give you like this. How they may give something like take it as some 7 into cube root of 4. 7 into cube root of 4. Okay, whether it is a pure surd? No, because 7 is a coefficient for this cube root 4. 7 is the rational part, whereas this cube root 4 is the irrational part. So it is not a pure surd. Since it is not a pure surd, so we call it as a mixed surd, or sometimes we mention it as the simplified value. And if anybody asks you to convert this 7 into cube root 4 into pure surd, right? What is our task now? Now I am going to convert this 7 into cube root 4 into pure surd. How can we convert it into pure surd? To convert it into pure surd, it should be of the form nth root a. That means nothing should be outside. So you just send this 7 to inside of that nth root, that cube root. So if 7 goes in, then it becomes like 7 cube. I think you know it. So then it can be written as cube root of 7 cube into 4. So this is equals to cube root of 7 cube is 343 into 4. You just multiply these two values. Then cube root of that value is the pure surd of the given mixed surd, 7 into cube root of 4. You just take this as the what? Fourth point of your surds concept. What it is? Conversion from pure surd to the mixed surd, or the simplest form. Just have a look and I move for the next point. So already I told you while class is going, while we are moving in the class, you just take certain screenshots or make a running notes, right? Then the fifth point about the surds is about the types of surds. There are different types of surds, right? I am going to mention all those types. See, basically I mentioned you pure surd. Just I mentioned you pure surd or simple surd, and another one is the mixed surd. Right? There are different types of mixed surds. Just I mentioned you 7 into cube root of 4 is a mixed surd. But if you write like 7 plus cube root of 4, this is also mixed surd. 2 minus root 5 is a mixed surd. Cube root of 4 plus fourth root of 5 minus 8 is a mixed surd. So mixed surds are not in the perfect form of nth root of a. Pure surd, if it is in nth root of a, we call it as a pure surd. But all these things are surds. This is a surd. Surd in the sense we don't have an exact value for this. Its simplification is neither a terminating nor repeating decimal. Since its simplification is neither terminating nor repeating, so we don't have an exact value for this root 5. So we don't know that 2 minus root 5 also. Since this is not exact, since this is infinite, because there exist infinite number of decimals, since this is infinite, you are mixing with the 2 with that infinite. Again it becomes like infinite, right? So this 2 minus root 5 is again a surd, but not pure surd. We mention these as mixed surds. So these are the mixed surds and these are the pure surds. Then whereas we have the nth root of a, you just think about this n. I already told you this n is mentioned as order of the surd. Based on that order, we have different surds. I will give you the names, right? So for suppose if n is equals to 2, if n is equals to 2, we write it like cube root of 11, or for suppose root 11. These are called quadratic surds. Since it is 2, we call it as quadratic surds. And for suppose if you have cube root of 19 or cube root of 2020, these are called cubic surds, because the order is 3, we mention it as cubic surds. And fourth root of 17, fourth root of something, we call them as biquadratic surds. And if it is more than that 4, we call usually them as surds of order n, nth ordered surds. If it is 5, fifth order surd. If it is 7, seventh order surd. Like that we will mention. Just once again think that. See, pure surd, mixed surd, and then what it is? Based on order, what it is? Quadratic surds, cubic surds, biquadratic surds, and surds of order n. Right? See, not only the mixed surds, we have one more type. We usually call them as compound surds, right? Compound surds. Compound surds are again nothing but the combination of surds along with the rational numbers. everything usually we call it as compound sets. This is a compound set, this is a compound set, this is a compound set, and again this is also a compound set. Basically there is no difference between mixed sets and compound sets, right? So you just think about these types of sets based on the order and then conversion from pure set to mixed set, and we call these types also as mixed sets. And I am moving for the next one. There are some more sets, some more types of sets depending on the number of terms involved in the sets, right? I will give you this. First, suppose if you have only one term in the set, we call it as monomial sets. See, for example, cube root of 5. This is a set, this is a number. This cube root of 5 is called monomial set because we have only one value, cube root of 5. And for suppose you may say 11th root of 21, monomial sets. And the next thing is binomial sets. A binomial set will require two terms in that. Okay, so if you have the 2 minus root 3, 2 is a term, root 3 is a term, this 2 minus root 3 is a binomial set. Or for suppose you may take root 5 plus cube root 7. Root 5 is a set, cube root 7 is a set. There are only two terms, so we call it as what? Binomial set. If there exists three terms, for example, root 3 plus root 4 plus root 5 is a trinomial set. And for suppose cube root 2 minus 4th root 5 plus 7, trinomial set. If there exist three terms, we call it as trinomial sets. Monomial sets, binomial sets, trinomial sets. Likewise, if you continue, we have multinomial sets. If the number of terms are more than 3, then we call all those sets as multinomial sets, right? So how many types are there? See, many types. Basically pure set, mixed set, and then sets based on the order, sets based on the number of terms, right? And the fifth one related to this types of sets is the similar sets. What I am going to tell you, similar sets, right? Listen carefully. The concept of similar sets is again useful for further applying fundamental operations. Now I am going to tell you about similar sets. So if you have similar sets, then automatically its opposite thing is dissimilar sets. Similar sets and dissimilar sets. If there are certain sets, pure sets, may not be pure. If there are certain sets in simple form, simple sets, whose irrational part is same. What I am going to tell you is, for suppose 9 root 2, 7 root 2, minus 5 by 3 root 2, or you may say just root 2. This is root 2 is a set. So 9 root 2 is also a set. 7 root 2, minus 5 by 3 root 2, root 2. If you look all these things, they contain root 2 as a set. So these type of sets are called similar sets. Just like similar terms of the like terms or similar terms of an algebra.